My name is Dr. Laura Vanderberg. I'm usually a professor, a cognitive scientist, a researcher, an educator, and my mission is teaching and learning. Today I'm here for a very different mission: to raise as much funding as possible to provide defensive tactical and medical equipment for as many Ukrainian civilians and defenders as possible. Because of my deep love and gratitude for Ukraine and her people, it has pained me greatly to see the scope and depth of violence committed against Ukrainians by Russia since the beginning of the invasion on February 24th, 2022. These are my friends and my loved ones in Ukraine. I lived in Ukraine from 1999 to 2001 when I served as a Peace Corps volunteer, teaching English as a second language. I served in a combined primary and secondary school, and I lived in central Ukraine in the Kirovograd Oblast. Ukraine took care of me for 2 years, and I'm here to return that kindness. When the invasion began, I reached out to my former students and colleagues to ask, how could I help? Ukrainians have asked for specific support to keep their defenders as safe as possible. The defenders protect Ukrainian civilians. As the war continues, Ukrainian women and children are sewing, weaving, and outfitting their defenders. Current aid organizations can't reliably deliver aid to central and eastern Ukraine, or the aid is not of the quality for the defensive equipment to serve the purposes that it needs to protect and preserve human life. It's not reaching the people who need it most. I began working with American manufacturers and specialists to understand what my Ukrainian friends needed to keep themselves safe. We're pulling together top quality defensive tactical and medical equipment for Ukrainians. I know nothing about war. I know about people and the mind, and I know how to pull together resources. This is why grassroots efforts matter. People can give directly to people, and through me, others have the opportunity to give directly to people in Ukraine. We designed a sample shipment called Ukraine Aid 1 that we delivered to central Ukraine. I went to Poland to establish the supply chain. On the way, I stopped in London to meet a former student from Ukraine, Yevgenia, Jenny, and she's a journalist. Yes, this is a video of Zhenya documenting Ukraine Aid 1 with me.
Hi, Laura, what are you doing here today? Did you pop in for lunch?
I did pop in for lunch. Jenny. So, we're in London.
What are we doing here?
Well, we did have a little bit of lunch, but not too much because we're working women, working in ways we never thought we would be working. How are you working?
Well, my piece about Mariupol is about to be done. Laura, you're on a mission. What kind of mission?
Well,
You're a professor, but what are you actually doing right now?
yes. So, as a professor, I'm committed to growth, learning, development. You met me when I was a teacher. So, I've been doing that for 25 years. And some of my students said they needed me, and they were in Ukraine, and there was no way to get things to them that they needed. So I am doing a sample delivery of humanitarian aid through Poland into Western Ukraine and into Ukraine.
Is it fair to say the war turned you into volunteer?
Yes and no. So yes, a volunteer in this way. No, because I always feel like I was called to do work with other people to support them, but I never thought that I would have to do this sort of work.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Ukraine Aid 1 was successfully delivered to the hands of the defenders in central Ukraine. Together with Ukrainian colleagues, defenders, and community organizations, we have gathered feedback from Ukraine Aid 1 to know precisely how to design Ukraine Aid 2, our next phase. Our supply chain will open in June, so our window is tight for this next phase in our mission. I will walk you through two pieces of custom equipment for Ukraine Aid 2. These are manufactured in North Carolina. First, there's a plate carrier designed specifically for Ukrainians to protect themselves in this asymmetrical war. It is light, flexible, and affordable. Then we have a medical pouch that folds very small and attaches to the carrier or belt. It can be opened with a single pull of the pull tab and laid directly on the injured person. This saves lives because it protects the medical equipment, keeps it accessible and organized, and allows defenders to treat people in situ. Then a single defender can provide care, rather than having to use two defenders to move an injured person out of an area for treatment. You will see Bill walking me through the medical pouch in this video.
Everything is folded up nice and neat.
Okay.
Then I can grab this pull tab right here. Go ahead and watch this.
Okay.
You ready? I just take this pull tab, and I pull it down, and there's all my contents.
So when the loops are over,
Yep, it holds it in place.
all right, so loops are over like this, like on the outside part. I don't
Yes.
cross
So-
over the
Yes, ma'am.
hook, right? Is this right?
Nope, that's correct.
Okay, and then
Yep. Now take that handle with your right hand. Turn it over.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me try it again. We'll edit
There
that
you
part
go.
out. So when I roll it in, I keep the pull tab out because I want to use it, right?
Yep, you got it. So that way the
Hold it.
pull tab is still accessible.
Okay, now. Which way am I'm not holding it this way. I'm holding it this way.
Yes, that way. That's the correct direction.
Ah, okay. Nice. That is amazing. And then it would open.
Thank you.
Wow.
And what's really neat is they can tear it off and they can literally lay it down on the patient
Yep.
or to the left or the right of the patient to access quickly. So it's
Yep.
a quick trauma
Yep.
device.
Okay, got it.
And now you can better understand why we have ITAR, because do you think Uncle Sam wants the Russians getting ideas like this?
No, probably not.
Yep. Now, on the very front, there's Velcro. Do you see that?
Yep.
That Velcro is so they can put a medic patch, so people knows that's medical supplies.
Okay. I don't have a medic patch. I just have romaine lettuce. But it would go right here.
I normally won't wear a medic patch because a lot of enemies will target medics. And the Russians are targeting medics.
Ugh.
So I personally would not put a medical patch on if I was you.
Okay, got it.
Our overall mission is to gather as much funding as possible to outfit as many civilians and defenders as possible. The defensive, tactical, and medical equipment will save lives. In Ukraine Aid 2, we aim to gather $140,000 by June 5th to provide full protective, tactical, and medical equipment for 70 Ukrainian defenders. Please help us to save Ukrainian lives and preserve Ukrainian sovereignty. Donate now to help now. You can donate directly through me at Venmo or PayPal, or you can call 21st Tactical and make a charge to your credit card for purchases of defensive tactical equipment. As soon as the funds roll in, production begins. If you are a manufacturer and you'd like to discuss collaborating, please email me at vanderbergl@gmail.com. Thank you. Дякую. І слава Україні!